Hello everyone. As you can see on my screen, this is the WindSurf IDE, which I recently started using it. And I'm really impressed the kind of productivity gain I got when I started using a WindSurf, right? I have been using this from last 10 days very actively. And what I realize is, every developer should have this, right? I'm not saying that if you have any other AI enabled IDE, you should abandon that and you should start using it. But I would highly recommend you to at least give it a shot, try to evaluate what kind of capability WindSurf is providing. And the most impressive feature which WindSurf is having, which is a Cascade, right? As you can see on my screen, right, there are a lot of conversation which I am having. So this is a chat window which we are getting an idea. Mostly every IDE has this, but the Cascade feature is what this empowered this IDE is. It can have a complete context even if you have a large code base, and you can ask anything, whether it's related to the development or it is related to testing or it is related to the deployment or it is related to the infrastructure, whatever you can think of for the entire end-to-end software lifecycle, you can get the help from the WindSurf IDE. Let's try to understand with some real-time example and see how much powerful this tool is. And then you can just give it a shot, and then you can compare with other IDE whether the WindSurf is the right choice for you, or you want to just move from your existing IDE to the WindSurf IDE or not. Right? So right now you can see on my screen, as you see, the name of this project is, or the application is, automating a migration of SSIS package to the Fabric. Right. So basically, SSIS is nothing but it's a TTL tool provided by the Microsoft, where you have to have your on-premise infrastructure for them. Whereas Microsoft provide a Fabric, which is a SaaS platform, where you can just move your on-premise solution to the cloud native application. So if you can migrate your SSIS packages to the Fabric, then you are not only migrating your legacy system to the advanced, or the more appropriate tool or the ecosystem on a cloud native, but you will be future ready as well. So it's a really very important migration to happen. And I can imagine this is a technology modernization in the context of the ETLs, or the data analytics platform. Right. So what I did is I was having a very simple code where, I was having a very high level design. If you just read through the README, I mean, that would give you the sense what the flow is for this particular application. The main thing which we have here is a sys package parsing. So basically, if you just see the SSIS packages, this is how it looks like on a designer pan. But if you just see the corresponding XML file, which actually defines this entire the SSIS package in a designer format, this is how it looks like, which is way complicated. And we all understand, the XML file is not very good, right? I mean, when I say it's not good means, I mean, we developer don't like this, but it's very messy, right? Since JSON came into the existence, we always feel that, okay, everything has to be in a JSON because that makes our life easier. But just a joke apart, right? Okay, so this is what, our SSIS package is. And if I just show you, how we can just have an equivalent, the migration on a Fabric side. So this is how this Fabric looks like. You can just have your workspace. Inside the workspace, you can just create your data pipelines, and you can click here. Whatever you are seeing over there in a Visual Studio, which is actually hosted on an on-premise, SQL server, we have our own hardware, but this is completely a SaaS model because this is, provided by the Microsoft. And this is how you can just design, your entire solution by using all the latest and the greatest technology Microsoft has to offer within a Fabric ecosystem, right? So this is how, we can do. Right. Then we have a Fabric resource generation. Then we have automated, deployment as well. And then we have a high test flow. When I started this project, I spent almost 3 days, and I was nowhere close to the point where I can test even a simple SSIS package. Then I thought that, just give it a shot to WindSurf. And then I start, pushing the code to the WindSurf and just start asking the question, how we can do that. Right. So then it was really, really helpful. And now if I just run the test automation, by the way, just to give the context, I have not even written a single line of test, in this, the entire testing module, which you can see here, right? We have these 4 test module. One is for Fabric Builder, another one is for the main, then we have a parser, and then we have a set of fabric, right? So these are the four main features which we have in this application, and this entire test layer is just built by the WindSurf based on the prompt I request. Right. And now I can just give you the real-time example. Here you can see when I just run this test coverage, and we can see we have a 85% test coverage, and there are few lines which are not covered by our test. And if you just see, these are the section where we know what all precise line numbers are not covered, right? So let me just copy this and just come here in a WindSurf, and let me start with the new one, right? Okay. So I want you to increase the coverage testing as CICD pipeline needs to have more than 85%. Otherwise, because this is what the checkpoint we have, otherwise pipeline is fail. I'll just show you, right? And then I have to just get this, and let's see. I haven't explained anything to WindSurf what it needs to done, right? And it will just, analyze everything, and it will just give us the final answer. So now we can just think, we can see the thinking process, which is a chain of thought, and we can see how it is planning to handle this, right? So you can see the entire thought process, on what basis, it's suggesting you the responses. So achieving high test coverage is crucial for the healthy CI/CD pipeline. I can definitely help you. So now it is trying to just understand where the problem is, then it analyzes the test parser, and then it says that excellent, I have reviewed the existing test and coverage report, and I have a clear plan to increase the test coverage, right? And now, it's keep doing this, and let's see. So first it just completed a test underscore parser, and then now it's moved to a test underscore fabric underscore builder, and it just keeps suggesting, the changes which we need to make so that we have a more coverage, right? So if I just see the open def, so we don't have to do anything. I just have to click in this open def, and I can see the changes which are being made. So these seems like, there are some more, the advanced method, the test methods are being added here based on the recent changes which I incorporated at the code base. So let me just accept this. Okay, now move to the next one. Here we can see now we have this open diff here as well. We can just accept it. We can just review it, what changes are being made, and we can simply accept it, right? So I accepted that. It is asking whether I should just run it. So let me just reject that, and let me just quickly run it locally by myself and see if we are getting any kind of increment in order to, have a more coverage. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just quickly going to set up my local environment to run this. Okay, so I did that. Let me just quickly run this one more time. You can see we have 85%. Let's see what happens now. Right now you can see we got this 90%. So 5% is increased. So basically we got a 5%, increment in our test coverage without even writing or thinking about a single line of code. And it happens in just a matter of few minutes, right? Same thing. I mean, we can just keep doing this until or unless whatever the expected number of test coverage, whatever the test coverage you want to do. I mean, you can further, refine this, and you can just ask specifically for the main. Main is just kind of a wrapper, so we should not be worried about that. If you want to just have a more coverage for the pipeline builder also, you can just simply ask that, can you just quickly review why these lines are not being covered, whether it is really required to be covered or not, right? So that is from the testing perspective. Now, just think about it, whatever the existing code base we have, right? If we want to just have a new feature implemented, then what kind of help we can expect from WindSurf, right? So let's quickly start with adding a new feature. Okay, so let me ask, okay, could you please add the logic migrate SSIS package, which takes data from API endpoint and move the data to SQL Server with having, data transformation with string procedures. please create one SSI package which shows this flow, and then suggest the changes required in our this. Let's quickly run this and see the actual magic is happening. It's not about testing, but it's about, how soon you can add more intelligence to your existing code base. And this Cascade feature is really, really awesome, right? And I'm not getting into the more deep, what all feature WindSurf support. I'm just focusing on how we can leverage the power of, WindSurf, right? So now we can see the thought process as well. If you would like to see, like you can click here and you can see how I'm beginning to flash out the user migration requirement, and you can just understand how it is thinking, how it is trying to, construct the response so that you will have, the confidence that, okay, what it is suggesting, it's really having a very well thought behind it. It's not that, some LLM is actually doing that, right? Definitely LLM intelligence is there, but still, it is just, having a context as well, which is a very important point, because if you have some experience in utilizing an LLM for any kind of code suggestions, then you know that you have to copy paste, you have to set the context, you have to spend some time in just creating a prompt as well. But here you can directly interact with, with simple natural language prompt, rather worried about whether your prompt is good enough or not, or it is having enough context or not, right? So now we can see it just created another DTS package. So I can just quickly see that this is how this SSIS package looks like. If I have to build this, I have to go here Visual Studio. I have to spend hours or a day or two to just build that package. But now I can just get this because it is just an application where we just wanted to see our high level functionality is working or not. And then we can just start adding more intelligence to it, right? So I can just quickly do that and I can accept the changes. The moment I accept the changes, I can have this in a SSI package. You can see this DTSX packages here, right? Now, what is the next thing, right? Now we have to first parse this, and then we have to create a proper pipeline compatible API request for Fabric. And this is where, the rest of the logic is being built, right? So now the parser is being modified, and here we can see the changes which is related to this. And now we can see it just added this function which is for the get residence constraint, right? And we can accept that for now, and there is nothing more. And then we can see there is a change in the main PY as well, and there is a change in a pipeline builder as well, which is quite obvious, because if parser is getting changed, then definitely we have to change the pipeline builder accordingly, because that is where the actual, parse information is going to be converted into the Fabric compatible information on the payload, which we are going to use the Fabric API to build a similar component on a Fabric server. So let's quickly review this one. We can just see, and we can just review one by one all the changes, or we can at the end accept all the changes. And I just wanted to show you, that's the reason I'm just blindly accepting everything. And here you can see, the command as well, what we need to do, right? And we can quickly apply this main changes as well, right? So if you just see, we got a new SSI package. We don't have to write that. Then we got the changes as well at the code label. And now we are all set to run this. And before I just run this command without delay, without deploy, let me just run this. Okay, so let me just copy the code which we got now. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy to my PyCharm. Okay, which is done. Cool. So if I come here, this without deploy. So basically it's a dry run kind of stuff. So it is just going to give us whether it is able to just, so basically now we have a new SSIS package. So let me just do that as well. Okay, so let me just SSIS package here. Okay, so let me just say, let's quickly verify. Yeah, we have a API one. And here we can see whether the parsing is happening correctly or not. Now we can see the parsing is happening correctly. This is what our SSIS package. And now we can see the parsing is happening correctly. And we can quickly run this deploy as well, just to see, everything is working fine or not. So it's taking us to the Fabric, and then it does the magic, right? So just see we can how easily increase the coverage, how easily we can just add the new feature without even worried about what all places we have to make the changes. I was just thinking if I have to do this manually, I need, more folks, I need more time to do all these kind of stuff. So whether it's related to a development or it's related to a testing, or if it is related to the CI/CD pipeline error as well, you can easily rely on WindSurf, and this will just handle all those day-to-day situation very, very impressively, very, very effectively. Sometimes you will get into the situation where you have to make your prompt more intelligent, but again, that is where you have to use your expertise, and you won't mind doing it if this tool is saving a lot of time, days for you, and just whatever thing you're going to do in days, now you can just do in few minutes and few hours. So definitely you are more open and you have more time to just more to be more innovative and more creative. So I am really impressed with WindSurf, and I would highly recommend everybody to give it a shot and try to utilize this as much as possible, and try to compare what other IDE is actually providing, which are AI enabled or empowered, and just share your thoughts in the comment section or the suggestion, because these tools are just helping us. These tools are just augmented our imagination, our creativity, and our innovations, right? So I would suggest use as much as possible these tools to be more productive, more innovative, and just build more intelligent software in a less span of time. That's it from my side. If you have any question or any feedback, please feel free to ask that into the comment section. And if you have any question regarding the WindSurf, just send me across, and I would love to answer your question. If I don't have answer, then definitely I will reach out to the WindSurf team as well, so that they can also answer your queries if I'm not able to do so. And as always, thanks for watching this. Stay healthy and keep learning. And one more final request, if you really like this video, give a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed for my channel, please subscribe for my channel as well. Thanks a lot.